Hello, friends. Welcome. I wanted to talk today about scholarship. You hear me use that word a lot. What the heck does it mean? What is scholarship? Especially as it relates to Buddhism. So I break it down this way. There's a lot, you all have cell phones or internet. There's tons of data out there. I call it data because it's just stuff, right? Some of it's good, some of it's bad, some of it's controversial, some of it's manipulative, blah, 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 blah. It's data. Until you assemble some of it and you start to reason it out and fish out, that tastes bad, and okay, this goes good, this makes sense, blah, blah, blah. At some point, you collect enough data that relatable to your mind that it becomes information. But information is a cup of this, a pinch of that. It's just information, right? How you combine them to make bread, that's information. That's formulaic. But at some point, you can reason something out from that information. You can categorize it and say, this is good information for that. This information helps me figure that out. With this information, I can make a loaf of bread, right? And then, at that point, it becomes knowledge. It becomes knowledge because it's easily referenceable in your own mind of information to create, manifest something. Once you manifest enough stuff with your data, information, and knowledge, you then, at some point, might have, after 100 different kinds of loaves of bread, you might have an aha. I get it. If I add a little more yeast and salt and less sugar, I get this kind of bread. Right? You start to figure stuff out. Those insights, those are uniquely from your mind, right? You have developed a mind to samsara relationship. Once you collect insights, then you can stand back and look at your path, your insight of knowledge, of information and data, and you can purvey all of that, and that is your experience of that insight built of knowledge and information and data. Now you've experienced it, right? And once you've experienced something fully, now you have something you can teach. And when you teach and you get feedback, data, information, you get more knowledge, you get more insight, and that gives you greater experience, and you can then teach even better. To the degree that you develop your teaching, and you teach yourself, as well as those around you, you become manifest of what you're able to teach. It becomes who you are. And that, because it rests on top of your own personal experience, from your own personal insights, also compounded by the sharing of others in their gathering of knowledge, their insights, also shared experience with you, your teaching grows, and thus your scholarship. So if you were under the impression that scholarship is merely reading a bunch of books, that's, I would say, closer to academia. scholarship happens long after that. It has to marinate and mature and become reasonable, made of reason. I'll say it that way since I can't come up with the word. And so this is Buddhist scholarship. This is why in Shakyamuni's day, he was one to say, don't get stuck on the words, read all of Buddhist scholarship. Well, Buddhist scholarship was him. He's the one who created the Buddha and Buddhism. So what was he talking about? Well, he knew full well that the way he taught in his day was orally. He didn't write anything down. He repeated his sermons, and his students repeated his sermons and recited them all day long. And he also was very much aware that those closest to him who repeated his sermons every day and were probably corrected by him went on to take these sermons, a sermon, several sermons. Certainly, I mean, he taught the same sermon for years at a time, remember. So certainly, after teaching that sermon repeatedly over and over to train his students, those students would then go out into the world and repeat those sermons, right? And certainly, as they encountered different cultures and different people, they had to say, okay, I'm repeating this sermon, this is the sermon, but let me add to that, answer your questions, and interpret for you what the sermon means for your question. Well, now, he knew full well that that teaching, as it left him and went out into the world, would grow its own feet. Yes, they would repeat his sermons. Some of them might deviate a little bit, but they would be in a position to have to explain the sermon to people who didn't ever hear of this before. And therefore, commentaries would be written, discussions would veer one way or another, and there would be tremendous amount of personalized information about these sermons manifesting throughout India and beyond. So even in his day, Shakyamuni knew that, yeah, you're here learning this sermon right now. I'm going to teach this for a few years. But if you move or you go up north or down south and you go in another community, they may have other things to offer from their experience, their data, their information, their knowledge, their insights, and their experiences to share with you. And ultimately, because the teaching of Buddhism is about how you and I attain the exact same thing that Shakyamuni himself attained, there will be lots of ways that people will come to these insights and realizations in their circumstances that will help you to understand your path. And ultimately, you will get here to the Lotus Sutra. This is later in his life, right? The last 8 years of his life. So he knew that there was a building going on, there was a spreading out going on, that there was going to be tons of information about Buddhism, his teaching. And so he told people on the get-go, as you fan out, as you go out there, be sure you don't just listen to one person, because you're only getting their one insight, their insights, their experience. Check it out with somebody else. Learn more. Learn all of it. That's how you'll find your insights and your information and your path to do this. Shakyamuni was very clear about that, and he was not unaware that this is how humans are. So certainly now in the latter day, where we have this huge compendium of information, we now have a different sort of a respect to those great bodhisattvas that regularly, over the centuries, gathered everything that was going on and thought, okay, these opinions over here, they're just wrong. The central meaning, because we have the sutra, the actual sermon that he preached, these opinions have merit. These opinions have some merit and some baloney in them. And these opinions over here are just an outright crock of crap. So let's just get this straight, realign this stuff to the meaning that Shakyamuni had. And through my scholarship, our scholarship, we can now write this more modern document to represent the teachings of this period of Shakyamuni's teaching life and what that means to our minds now with our capacity to understand what he was teaching. This is where Nagarjuna, Vasubandhu, Tendai, Miao Lo, Dengyo, many others, this is where the scholarship of Buddhism has all of its merit. Constantly bringing things back to focus, bringing things back to merit of the intent of the teaching of Buddhism. Constantly cleansing itself. It's amazing, the history of Buddhism in this respect, right? So, short video, just wanted to talk about Buddhist scholarship and what does that mean. Hopefully you have a better idea at this point. And I'll see you soon with another video. We're still not done with the Go Show, although I'm assuming you're watching these videos in the order they came out. You're going to jump all over the place. So just thank you for being here. I appreciate your being a part and your courage. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, thank you for being here. Did you know there's a third way you can help support this channel? And it won't cost you a cent. Yep, if you are not able to be a patron on Patreon or use the PayPal me at .com at Sifu Sylvain because you don't have the financial fortune to help support this channel right now, you, as I say, always support this channel by watching, but you can also help us grow so that maybe one day we can get over 10,000 subscribers and YouTube will grace us with monetization. It's not a lot, but if you can make sure you're subscribed and share a video like a simple one, just go into the search criteria and type monk and you'll have a video that'll come up that's been up for years about what is a monk. You know, it's called monk, who, how, where, something like that. That might be a great introduction to somebody who doesn't understand what a monk is to begin with. It's a tool. Use this channel as a tool to help you with your bodhisattva practice and share a video to somebody who you think, oh, I know somebody who'll benefit from watching this. And in that way, you can help us grow. And that's a really good way to help your practice along as well. So just wanted to drop that in on you in case that's something that you might find useful. Take care of yourself again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.